Gordon Rocks in the Galápagos Islands is the dream of many divers around the world, where my 100th dive became absolutely unforgettable. I'm here with Sebastian to tell you the story and share the incredible wonders we encountered. This is Dive and Wonders. We started early, because that's just how it works in the Galapagos. It is not the normal travel destination to wake up and go for the breakfast and chill. You need to be at the diving center at 7 a.m., drive from there to where the boat is located, and from there to the diving spot. But at the end, everything is completely worth it. Before we hit the water, Academy-based crew gave us the brief for the day with an incredible hand-drawn map that is drawn fresh every single day for the dive briefings.
Rock there. If we look to the other side, we have the other two rocks, the small rock and the medium rock, okay?
Now it's time for diving 1 in Gordon Rocks. Our maximum depth was 20 meters and we dived for around 15 minutes. We are greeted by the most charismatic welcome committee, a playful Galapagos sea lion. These incredible mammals are like underwater acrobats, effortlessly dancing through the currents. This is creole fish. They were literally everywhere today. These beauties are the constant companions at every Galapagos dive. Mobula race. These graceful giants are currently listed as endangered on the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List, making every single sighting precious. But what makes mobulas different from their famous ray cousins? Look closely at that undercut bottom jaw and those smaller cephalic fins that roll up like horns. That's why they're called devil rays, raya diablo in Spanish. But there is nothing devilish about these gentle filter feeders. We are seeing just a couple of mobulas here, but patience pays off in the Galapagos. We'll see more of these later. Gordon Rocks isn't just another dive site. It's consistently ranked as one of the most challenging and rewarding dives for divers worldwide. This is an extinct volcanic crater where 3 exposed rocks break the surface, while beneath the wave pinnacle towers rise from the depth. This terrain creates powerful shifting currents. They bring life in abundance, from schooling fish to hammerhead sharks. But they also demand skills. That's why diving centers require over 25 logs dive, and that your last dive wasn't more than a year ago. But that's a general rule for diving in advanced diving spots and marine reserves. Here, deep water surges upward, interacting with the crater walls and pinnacles to create the strong vertical upwellings, down currents, and lateral shear flows. These water movements flush nutrients over the reef and suspend plankton high in the water column. For divers, it means you often feel a visible push or pull as you approach certain pinnacles or walls. Currents that change direction, twist, or surge through the narrow gaps. So you are drifting with the flow. These water movements you can actually see and feel. Look at this, for example. See how the water appears almost gaseous or blurry. That's different water densities mixing together, where cold, nutrient-rich water upwells meet the warmer surface currents. And as I say, you don't just see it, you feel every degree of that temperature change. One of nature's most graceful swimmers, a sea turtle, literally gave up and let itself drift backwards with the current. If a creature that has been perfecting ocean navigation for over 100 millions of years throws in the towel, you know you are dealing with some serious water movements. During this dive, the green sea turtles encounters were happening constantly. We were focused on photographing or recording one of them, completely absorbed in the moment when suddenly another turtle materialized from the deep blue. Here's a quick glimpse of a Bumphead parrotfish, one of the reef great sand makers. We'll get a closer look and explain their fascinating role in our second dive, so wait for it. For now, let's appreciate the incredible fish diversity surrounding us, thanks to the current. Yellowtail surgeonfish, king angelfish. If you have been following our Galapagos videos, you should already know a few facts about this wonderful fish I just mentioned. Your knowledge about marine life is building up, so is ours. Each dive builds knowledge. Even our safety stops deliver surprises, because here, like in many dives, there is not such thing as boring decompression time, more mobulas gliding past. Between dives, there is time to process what we just experienced, and honestly, to prepare mentally and physically for round 2. Dive 2. The maximum depth for this dive was 18 meters, and we enjoy 15 minutes of bubbles. Hello, Mr. Hammerhead Shark. The current has definitely picked up in intensity for this second dive. Here we are again, holding on to rocks. But this also gives us the perfect opportunity to observe our surroundings. It's important to check where you place your hands. If possible, you don't want to disturb marine life, intoxicate, or hurt yourself in the process. One of my dive buddies found the ultimate solution. Just stick close to the bottom. This is a chocolate ship sea star, Nidorelia armata. Despite their sweet name, those dark ships are calcified armor that discourage predators. Like all sea stars, they use thousands of tiny tube feet, or podia, on the undersides of their arms to grip their reef. Rather than through suction, these feet secrete adhesive that let them cling with astonishing strength, even against strong currents. They graze slowly across the reef. Meet the Mexican hawkfish, Bodianus diplotatenia, a reef fish with one of the most intriguing life stories in the ocean. They begin life as females and can transform into males later on, a strategy known as protogynous hermaphroditism. Despite the name, they are not just found in Mexico. They range stretches across the tropical eastern Pacific, from the Gulf of California down to Peru, includes the Galápagos and Cocos Islands. They are also known to act as cleaners picking parasites from other fish at reef cleaning stations. Their dual role, sex shifter and ecosystem helpers, make them fascinating players in the marine communities. If you look closely, you will see more of them as we continue, and even remember them from the previous dive. Hammerhead sharks. Where there's current, there's a good chance these predators aren't far away. The same powerful flows that challenge divers also brings the nutrient-rich waters that attract schools of fish, and in turn, hammerhead sharks. Their iconic head shape isn't just distinctive, it's evolutionary engineering as its finesse. Those extended lobes, called cephalofoils, enhance their vision and host special sensors that can detect the electrical fields generated by other animal heartbeats. But hammerheads are more than just design marvels. With 9 species worldwide, they play a vital role as predators. And here we are with the Bumphead parrotfish, Scarus perico, one of the reef true sand makers, by scraping algae and bits of corals with their powerful beaks. They help keep reef healthy and, in the process, produce sand. Larger Indo-Pacific relatives of this species are known to generate hundreds of kilos of sand each year through digestions. While Scarus perico produce less, the principle is the same. A glimpse of Hieroglyphic hawkfish, one of the reef's best camouflage hunters. They perch motionless on corals or rocks, waiting patiently for small fish or crustaceans to pass within reach. With a sudden burst, they strike before the prey have a chance to react. Spotting one in the open like this is a treat. These fish usually rely on their camouflage to remain almost invisible. And we also saw one some minutes after, so just look on the rocks. It was time for the safety stop of my 100 dive and number 34 for Sebastian. And it was absolutely unforgettable. A Mola Mola, the ocean sunfish, is one of the most extraordinary creatures in our oceans. This gentle giant is the world's heaviest bunny fish, capable of reaching over 2 meters long and weighs up to 2,000 kilograms. That's heavier than most cars. They don't have a true tail, just a rounded structure called clavus, and they are famous for basking at the surface like drifting solar panels. Their favorite food? Jellyfish, which they consume in huge quantities, helping to keep the ecosystem in balance. They are typically found during the cooler season, when the nutrient-rich upwelling creates perfect feeding conditions.
Wonderful.
As we made our way back to Puerto Ayora, we also had a lunch, which was included, because in the Galapagos, diving always comes with an exceptional hospitality, equipment assistance, tank changes, transport, lunch, and don't forget the incredible hand-drawn briefing maps. This level of care is what makes Galapagos diving so special. Every species we encounter today, from endangered Mobula rays to ancient hammerhead sharks, depends on healthy ocean environments. By sharing these underwater adventures, we are not just documenting amazing wildlife, we are helping raise awareness of why marine conservation matters. The more you learn about the ocean, the more you care, and that care inspires action to protect it. Diving in waters this rich with biodiversity reminds us that every day beneath the surface holds new possibilities for discovery.
Chicos, ¿ustedes vienen mañana?
¿Sí?
Ah, sí, pues mañana.
Mañana y pasado también.
Ah, Alberto también.
Sí.
Yes.
So now you know, more diving adventures awaits. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on. You don't want to miss what we have discovered and what wonders we will show next. Until our next underwater adventure, keep exploring and happy adventures. See you in the deep blue.
Like a roller coaster.